Hello, hello, my green skins, and today we're doing the last of our Connery Bond month, honoring Sean Connery for his James Bond contribution, and some arguably saying the only and one true Bond that exists. And what's the last movie we're doing there, Dark?
Diamonds are forever.
Now there is one more Connery Bond movie, but we're going by the MGM rules, where we're only picking the ones that were MGM. So if you want us to do us the WB Bond movie, we're willing to do it, but we have to get some more likes, we have to get some more subs, and we have to get people commenting. Give us that last movie.
Yep.
So, so what did you think of Diamonds Are Forever?
Oh, not the best Bond film I've seen. In fact, I think there are some Roger Moore ones that I think are better, but
Mhm.
definitely not the worst. No, no, not in any way saying it's a bad movie, but it is. It does stick out in so many ways.
It's weird for me for this one. I do watch. It's my traditions usually to watch Bond movies, and I usually switch between the Moore and Connery Bonds. And I do this every Thanksgiving. And the problem is in my mind, well, I move the TV to the side, I start the cooking, have the Bond movies on. Maybe it's because I'm all this one kind of made me go because I remember this being better, and maybe I was younger at the time, but this one made me go. So let's break her down. What did you think of the music for this one? Other than the treading ground, what did you think of the title music?
The title music was good. I mean, Shirley Bassey. I mean, some actually say this is better than Goldfinger. I mean, I'm biased. I like Goldfinger more, so I'm obviously gonna pick that. It's a more iconic movie, so by inclusion, not by by extension, I'm gonna like the theme more. But objectively, as a song, I think maybe it's just as good.
Um, the okay, I have a love hate relationship with this one. Unfortunately, Kanye West decided to do a kind of rip on this for his Blood Diamond thing. Ever since that song, I hate this song now. A part of me I kind of liked it and thought it was one of the better ones. But every time I hear it go "Diamonds Are Forever," and I hear him, I keep thinking to myself, I keep hearing Kanye's voice going "Forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever." By the way, I actually like some of his music. Some of his music is really good. That song, I'm annoyed by it. If you want me to throw a random thing at somebody, just play that song, and I will probably throw a random shoe after hour three. You will get a shoe thrown at you. So, what did you think of the special effects for this one? This being, I think, the last Bond one that came out.
Okay, you know how in the previous reviews I was talking about how blue screen effects in those days were just not very good. Well, here they are actually. It's a major
Worse.
improvement. No, it's a major improvement here actually, except for that one scene where he's hanging over the building. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with the contrast of the city view, but something. But every other
Hmm.
scene was fine. But what did it cost? The explosion scenes are just really awkward because I guess at the time
Yeah.
they couldn't have a helicopter explode in midair or have an atomic bomb explosion from a distance, because it felt like they just
Yeah.
layered different footage
Yeah, it was really weird for that, eh? It was actually very weird because we always had that weird thing with the lighting and stuff, which is funny because we just went off one of the greatest helicopter fight sequences I've ever seen in a movie, and now we go to this, and it's just like, well, this kind of doesn't look that good.
I mean, there was one scene of an explosion, and the best way I can describe it is that there was an explosion that's that moved like it was claymation or something.
Hmm. Yeah, I know. It was really weird. They had some really bad things for this. So, what did you think of the cast and like the acting as a whole? Like, then we'll break down the story to this one. But what did you think of that one?
Well, I can't talk about Sean Connery's acting without talking about the story because I think it ties into that. But I guess what
A
they were
little bit of
going
A, a little
for,
B.
yeah, what they were going for, I think it was deliberate, and I, Sean Connery just nails it. Whether
Hmm.
whether it's the Bond you're familiar with, or in this case, a more rugged and
Mood.
more moody version. But we'll get to that later. Um, Felix Slider, oh god, they changed him again. Come on, guys, just keep. They should have gotten Jack Lord. I mean, this was meant to be Bond's last outing. End it with Jack Lord.
Yeah, it should have been Jack Lord all the way through because Jack Lord's actually a great actor, and it's just kind of sad to see that he has kind of disappeared. After I think after Doctor No, wasn't it? He never kind of showed up for the rest of the movies. I can't. It's sad. I can't remember, even though I've seen all the Bond movies this month.
Yeah, it was right. It was Doctor No. That was his only appearance. And the girl. Oh my god. I don't know if it's her that if it's her acting that's bad or the dialogue she's given to work with. I mean, she sounds like how a teenager was written back in like the
Oh,
80s and the
what made me
70s.
yeah, what made me laugh about this whole shit and shebang is this woman in the movie is supposed to be an intelligent diamond smuggler. Like she knows her shit. And yet it turns out it made me feel like she was an airhead that just kind of like got this stuff dumped on her lap.
Yeah.
Like yeah, she even had this weird thing where she's wearing all these different wigs and shit. It was just so fucking weird.
Yeah, she had her ditzy moments, you know?
Well,
Definitely not the best.
she was a dipsy. Yeah, yeah. It's. I think she's the weakest of the Bond women. And then we get to the fun of our villains, and our villains, Mister. Well, Blofeld for one is a definite improvement. I like
Oh,
this
yes.
Blofeld.
Yeah, the last one was just terrible.
Yeah, we get technically the Texan, which is actually kind of funny because just him freaking out through that movie was kind of fun. And then we get the other. Well, we're not going to talk about the big Bond bad guys yet, but we are going to talk about Bambi and Thumper.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, Bambi and Thumper is one of the most funny. It was so cheesy. I kind of want, as a DM, I kind of want to throw Bambi and Thumper into a D&D campaign. Um, because just so stupid. Like Jesus, what the hell? And it's so funny. It has such a comical thing, especially when he's like drowning. And it's like, well, hey, hold on a second, I gotta find out what's going on or something like that. And he's like, hey, I haven't got out of him yet. It's like, yeah, this this was kind of a fun thing for that, but there were a lot of fun things because when we get to the big bads, Mr. Kit and Mr. Laurel,
Mr. Kit and
these
Mr. White.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. King, I have Mr. King. Yeah, Mr. Kit and Mr. Wit is one of the funniest people. I just enjoyed them. They saved this movie.
Yeah,
For one, they're
they're
not
so
intimidating.
cartoonishly they're so cartoonishly villainous, but at the same time it's like you just for somehow you just accept it. It just somehow worked. And we seem to
Yeah,
have
it just. There we go. Okay, for a second there, it just died. Um, no, Mr. Kit, Mr. Kit, and Mr. Wild. There were so many funny scenes. One of my favorite scenes in there is they're just their one-liners. Like, they're sitting there in the middle of the desert. The Scorpion. We can learn a lot from one of the oldest killers out there, and that is just funny. And then they kill a guy with a scorpion, and then kill another guy, And my favorite scene is where Mr. I think it's Mr. Kid. I can't remember which one's which. I get these guys confused. But he's taking a camera of they get this one woman to get the fjord, and they take a camera picture, and the woman's like, "Oh, I'm going to take a picture of the fjord." They murder this old teacher, and then there's Mr. Wild taking a picture, going, "Well, she did want pictures for the kids for the fjord," and she's taking pictures of them fishing this old lady out of the river, and they sit there like, "Oh, well, that's very nice of you." It's like that Mr. Wild got those pictures recovered, and then sent them to the freaking orphanage where that school teacher was working. That's the type of assholes we were dealing with.
Yeah, they'd kill an old lady.
Oh, they would kill everybody, but they would do it with a smile. They're so uncanny valley villains too. They don't look assuming. They don't look dangerous, and that's what makes them so great. I think they are the best villains of Bond Rogue Gallery. I think personally. I don't know if you feel the same way.
No, I obviously don't. But at the
Well,
same time,
from the Connerys.
I get why one would enjoy them.
Mhm.
They're just that. They're just that sinister. It's just so hilarious. It's just enjoyably
It
cartoonish.
it is cartoonish, and even the way they kill people is cartoonish.
I mean,
I
think about it.
love
It's
them
kind of like
characters.
it's like Rocky Four. You got that robot in
Mhm.
there. Makes no sense. Why the hell would there be a robot? I guess I
Yeah.
kind of get why, but they wanted to show Rocky's
Wow.
wealth. But why a robot? It just sticks out. But you just enjoy it. You don't ask too
Oh,
many questions.
speaking about which, we'll get to that some other time. But they did something very interesting in the director's cut of Rocky of that movie, and kind of interesting. Anyway, it's just kind of fun with these villains. Now, what? Let's break down the story. What did you think of this silly freaking story?
I think this story is I think it moves a lot. It's all over the place. Like there are some
It is,
scenes.
right?
There's like a couple of scenes where I noticed, wow, they just cut away to the next scene so quickly. Like there's no, it doesn't have much
Hmm.
breathing room. It's like, okay, Bond has to go somewhere. Next scene, he's there and he's doing what he has to do. You know,
Yeah.
there isn't that in between of the villains showing their things from their point of view or Bond going to the place. You know, it's like, nope, he's there. I mean, there was a
Hmm.
scene where there was a makeout scene in the movie, and she says, "What are we gonna do? You don't have to worry about that." Cut. Next scene, they're being in. The guy walks into his hotel suite.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of scenes like that, and that's kind of annoying about it. Um, it's weird. I remember younger days. Maybe this is because every time this movie pops up, I'm putting a turkey in the oven or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm distracted on my Thanksgiving tradition, but it's just funny that I've watched this now with a critique with the idea of critiquing it, and I keep thinking to myself, this just feels a lot weaker than the other Bond movies. This doesn't feel like it's whole. Do you feel the same way or no? Like it just doesn't feel as good as the other ones.
You know, in a way, I kind of, despite the 2 hour mark, I feel the movie is incomplete.
I kind of feel the same way myself. I truly do think this is one of the weaker Bond movies. Um,
Weaker of the Connery Bond films, as far as Bond in general, no,
no,
there's a
no,
handful
no, no,
much worse.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, again, poor man's Pierce Brosnan's movies just suck. But um, this was just, it's so weird. So, what do you want to give this one as a rating?
I think I'm gonna give it a 7, and that's me being a little bit generous. I mean, I think overall it's an enjoyable movie, and I think with better editing, like a new cut of it might make it better. But
You know,
yeah,
you're right. You are right. Yeah, so maybe a better cut could solve this movie. But okay, go ahead.
um, regarding moreover with the story, like I said, it's just cutting from scene to scene, and I think I get what they're trying to do because when the movie starts, Bond is already on a mission and he's looking for Blofeld, who survived the last movie. And I think we're supposed to get a sense that, okay, I've had enough of this. I just want to get Blofeld. I mean, the opening scene, he takes a woman's bikini top off and uses it to strangle her to get information. I mean, Bond.
I know. It's such a rough movie. It is actually. It's like we missed a movie in between the movie. That's so weird, right?
Well, technically, we did. I mean, On Her Majesty's Secret Service was the movie before this, and that's where Connery was absent. So I have not seen that movie in its entirety, or at least it's been a long time. So I don't know if that one connects to this.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting because also heard that there was. That's kind of the way. That's the reason they did that scene where he's just going around punching people. You don't actually see Bond until like a certain point, and they wanted to just kind of, oh, Bond's back, like Connery's back. Um, my rating for this is about a 6.9. I think it's still a good movie, but is it as better as some of the other ones? No. And that's just the you know that this one's just the weakest one. I think this is actually a poor send off for Bond, personally, like the Connery Bond.
Yeah, I would like if someone like whoever owns James Bond. I think MGM still owns it, right?
Yeah.
Just guys, if you can improve on it, do it.
Yeah.
I think a new cut, an improved cut would
I,
actually make the movie better.
I'm a little hesitant to cut anything when it comes to the Bond movies. I think they're kind of fine on their own. Um, but it's just kind of interesting. I gotta be honest. After dealing with the Bond movies that we've gone through, and we have talked about Bond a lot in the last couple months. I go to Shawningon's Gumtree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Gumtree if you want to hear our critiques of the Bond stuff and the controversies as a whole, and what we feel, how we feel about this, because we've talked about Bond and all. I think this is actually the most talked series that we've actually had discussions as a whole. And like that's the thing about Connery Bond. Connery Bond to this day is still a solid Bond. When people say this is the James Connery was the James Bond, I can't deny it. He does feel like the James Bond. I think him and Moore are pretty much always neck and neck. I think Moore. I just like the movies more, the Roger Moore movies, but this one was just way wow.
I mean, to me, Roger Moore is second, but
Yeah.
even he, I mean, he's a great actor. I like a lot of his movies.
Oh yeah.
I especially love The Wild Geese. I mean, I think he added to that
Yeah.
movie, even if he wasn't the star.
Mhm.
But no, when people say James Bond, more people, I think both normies and fans alike think Sean Connery, or at
Yeah.
least older fans. Even people
Yeah.
from the Brosnan era will think Sean Connery.
Yeah. And Sean Connery was always great, and it was actually one of the things. And like I said, this was a love letter to Connery's Bond. If you want us to do the last Connery, the Warner Brothers movie, like, subscribe, and leave a comment saying you want to see that last movie. Otherwise, I want to thank everyone for James Bond. If you want to hear more of our critiques on the Bond and talking about James Bond, they're on gumtree.com or Gumtree on YouTube. I'll put a link in there. I can't remember gumtree.com.
Gumtree
You know,
House.
Gumtree House. Yeah, we got so many things plans. We're just waiting for the subs to do them.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, yeah, we're hoping for more. We're hoping for more. Let's just put it that way. Thank you everyone. Please like, subscribe, share, and thank you, Dark, as always. And so we're in a debate, guys. Leave a comment. We want a comment on the next thing we're going to do for Christmas. We have two choices. We're either going to do a Christmas, uh, uh, a Die Hard Christmas, or which is all the with Die Hard 1, 2, and 3,
We do
or
not
we're
acknowledge the
thinking.
fourth one or the fifth.
Mhm. Oh, come on. Die Hard 1 and 3 are amazing. I got wow. And I think that's the movie that made me aware of Samuel L. Jackson. Like up to that point I never knew who he was, and that was the thing. Although I will admit I called him the monologue guy for years because of this. He didn't have that cool as a cat uh pardon the pun Nick Fury kind of energy about him. But I liked him. I liked him as a character, and this was amazing for me. So I'd love to do 1, 2, and 3 of Die Hard Christmas, or we're gonna probably do then if we don't get any suggestions. Where the other option is the Christmas movies that you didn't know were Christmas movies. So that would might be Invasion USA. I don't know if I did. We do a review of Invasion USA? No, I don't think we have. I gotta check my own content. We'll do a canon film.
Oh boy,
We'll
I didn't get the
oh
cannon
yes,
loaded.
we'll have to load that canon one more time. We'll do that. We'll do Gremlins, and then we'll do Ghostbusters 2. And then we'll do Die Hard Dad to end it off, like Die Hard 1. So we're leaving it up to you guys. Please leave a comment if you want to see this stuff. And thank you, everybody, and have yourselves a very good one. And yeah, thank you very much, Dark,
You're welcome.
for the help. All right, guys, have a good one.